Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Skills Granted. Today we are going to discuss three major data science profiles: data analyst, data engineer, and data scientist. Let's understand. To understand these three profiles, let's understand the figure that I've drawn on that slide. This is typical data architecture where there are different data sources that could be sensor data, the data that could be came through APIs, data came through RDMS, even data can come from Excels. So these are the different data sources that ingesting the data into data warehouse. Prior to ingesting the data, there is one process in between, that is ETL process. What is the ETL process? ETL process is just extract, transform, and load the data. In ETL process, we first extract the data, then transform the data according to requirement, and then load that data into particular space in the data warehouse. Once we are able to load the data into data warehouse, then there is a next process is exploratory data analysis. Exploratory data analysis is the process in which we do basic analysis of the data. We apply statistics, we apply basic SQL, or we can do analysis on Excel also. So that kind of things we do in EDA. Once we are able to do that and find out the nature of the data, then we'll decide machine learning model. And for machine learning model, according to the problem, we find out the algorithm, and on the basis of that algorithm, we need to create a machine learning model. Once we are able to create machine learning model, then we will deploy that model for the production environment and then test the accuracy of that model. If there is a less accuracy than expected, then we will do model optimizations. For that, there are number of processes. Now understand what is the job is done by data engineer, what is the job is done by data scientist, and what is the job done by data analyst. So I have tried out to map the things like ETL and data warehouse thing. That job is done by data engineer. In that, there is a big data concept came, streaming concept came, and data pipeline concept came. So these all kind of stuff handled by data engineer. Now come on next part, EDA. As we discuss on EDA part, we do some basic analysis, we do visualization, we do data, we find out data, what kind of data nature have on the basis of different tools. These kind of process is handled by data analyst. Now come on next part, that is data scientist role. Data scientists also do an EDA as data analysts do. Scope might be different, but to apply a machine learning algorithm on the data, there is certainly EDA required to understand the nature of the data. Once we do EDA under the data scientist, then we find out the machine learning algorithm according to the nature of data, and then we deploy that model and optimize that model. That arena came under data scientist. Now go on next part. We will discuss here what are the skills required for all these three profiles, what are the required tools to handle all kind of stuff that we have discussed. Let's understand one by one. First, Data analyst. Data analyst should have a basic knowledge of data warehousing because for reporting, for analysis, he need to or she need to access the data from data warehouse. Data analyst should have a basic knowledge of statistics, basic knowledge of programming, that could be R, that could be a Python, basic knowledge of SQL, EDA, should have knowledge of spreadsheet or Excel, and finally, data visualization and reporting tool like Tableau, ClickView, or Excel. What are the things, what are the skills required for data engineer? Data engineer is actually responsible for architecting the data pipelines, ETL. Here we have discussed, mentioned data pipeline tool also, that is Apache NiFi and Apache Airflow. That are the major tools used in data pipelining. Data engineers should have knowledge of programming, advanced knowledge of programming, in-depth knowledge on SQL and database. In programming, data engineer should have Java, Python, or Scala. Hive is also a SQL based data processing thing that also used by data engineer. HPC is the NoSQL database that is also required to handle the data by data engineer. Data engineer always the profile that is related to high performance systems or real time systems. To do that, to handle these kind of things, certainly required Hadoop, big data, and MapReduce, Apache Spark for distributed computing, and Kafka for real time analytics. There should be analytical skills required for data engineer, and for visualization part, it could be a common for data analyst, data scientist, and data engineer. These are the Python library that generally used: Plotly, Boca, and Microsoft Power BI. What are the things that is required for data scientist? Data scientist actually find out the information from the data, and that is called data mining. So first thing is, where from starting point is find out the information about the data, what kind of nature of the data we have. So for that, it needs to be done data mining, and to conceptualize the problem, need to define data modeling, and for analysis required statistics for the nature of the data. To implement the algorithm, data scientists require in-depth knowledge of coding. That could be any programming language like R, Python, SAS, or SQL. To create a model, data scientists should know machine learning and deep learning algorithms, computer vision algorithms. There are a number of other things also available in the machine learning, AI, and deep learning. So that is the arena of data scientist. Analytical skills is actually common. Scope might be different. It is required for all three profiles. Could be a data scientist, it could be a data engineer, or it could be a data scientist. For visualization, I have mentioned few major visualization tool that actually used by data scientists. That could be a matplotlib, seaborn, or plotly. So these are the things, skills, required tools, and the data flow that I have mentioned in previous slides. You can easily identify what is the role of data analyst, what is the role of data scientist, and what is the role of data engineer. So that is all for that video. For next video, stay tuned. Thank you.